Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, respected lecturer of English for academic practice, me Shifa Fadila Hamid MPD, and all of my friends. My name is Fajira Adila, and I will open this video presentation for our group work. Before we start, let me introduce for our group work is group 3. Our group consists of me, Fajira Adila, and then two of my friends, such as Zahratuddiniyah and then Risnadia. In this video presentation, we are going to talk about collaborative learning in mathematics classroom. We choose this topic because math can be difficult to understand when students study alone. And by learning collaboratively, students can discuss ideas, help each other, and understand the material better. In the next part, we will explain the topic and share some supporting information or supporting data so it can be understood more clearly. Now, let's move on to the material.
Thank you, Fajira, for this opportunity. Now, I'll introduce what collaborative learning is, starting with its definitions, then its characteristics, goals, and benefits. Let's start with the definition of collaborative learning. Collaborative learning is a learning approach that uses small groups of students working together to achieve common goals, perform tasks together, and evaluate the result together. Through this process, they learn social and collaborative skills. In mathematics, this teamwork helps them share ideas, explain their thinking, and explore different strategies. Through discussions, students become more active, confident, and better at understanding concepts. There are 8 characteristics that indicate collaborative learning: positive interdependence, active interaction and discussions, individual and group accountability, development of interpersonal skills, formation of heterogeneous groups, sharing knowledge between teachers and students, sharing authority between teachers and students, teacher as a mediator. In addition, there are specific goals and benefits in implementing collaborative learning. The main goal of collaborative learning is not only to improve mastery of academic material, but also to develop various 21st century skills such as critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration, or it can also be called policy skills. And then these are 4 benefits of collaborative learning. First, students are more active in the learning process. Second, students be able to solve problems independently or in groups. Third, increase students' confidence in expressing opinions. Fourth, encourage meaningful learning through discussion and reflection. That concludes our explanation of collaborative learning. The next section will provide example and result from a case study, which Risnadia will explain.
In this section, I will explain supporting data-based article with title The Application of Collaborative Learning Model to Improve Students' Policy Skills by Wahyudin Ernawati Sri Satriani and Nur Sakia, 2022. In this section, we can see graph the result from article. Based on the comparison graph of the frequency distribution of pretest and post-test score, it can be seen that there was an increase in student learning outcome after the treatment was given. In the pretest stage, the majority of students were in the low and medium score categories, namely 9 students in the low categories, 60 to 69, and 10 students in the moderate category, 70 to 79. Only 4 students reached the highest category, 80 to 89, and no students were in the very highest category, 90 to 100. This condition indicates that students' initial abilities were relatively suboptimal. However, after the treatment was given, there was a significant shift in the distribution of scores. The number of students in the low and moderate categories decreased, while the frequency of score in the high and very high categories increased, reaching 6 students each. Thus, the post-test results illustrate that more students obtained high score after the learning was given. This change indicates that the treatment applied had a positive effect on improving student learning outcomes. In this section, there is analyze the result-based article. The comparison of the categorical frequency distribution confirmed that student mathematical conceptual understanding significantly improved following the intervention, which is evidenced by the score distribution curves shifting dramatically from the moderate and low categories in the pre-test to the high and very high categories in the post-test. Therefore, the application of the collaborative learning model is effective in improving mathematical conceptual understanding skills.
After the explanation of the material and the supporting data in the form of article presented by my group members earlier, now I will explain the conclusion and recommendation of our presentation. The conclusion, based on the explanation of the material and the supporting data, it can be concluded that collaborative learning is important in mathematics classrooms because this approach makes students more active in the learning process and helps them understand mathematical concepts better. And also, collaborative learning improves students' communication and problem solving skills and creates a more meaningful and effective learning experience. And then the next is recommendation. Based on this conclusion, several recommendations can be proposed. There are two recommendations. The first one is teachers should apply collaborative learning in mathematics classes by forming small groups and guiding the learning process. And then the second is students should also actively participate in group activities, share ideas, and work together to solve problems effectively. So, by applying these two recommendations, collaborative learning can be implemented more effectively in mathematics classroom. That's all for our presentation. We hope this video presentation can be useful and we apologize for any mistake or shortcomings. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.